Hi, this is Alexandra at Beadaholique, here to show you how to make the Giza Bracelet in caramel. So here we have the finished variation using a floral color pattern. And this bracelet showcases the compatibility of several two-hole beads, including Super Kheops Puca beads, brick beads, SO beads, and also some Miyuki seed beads for spacing. For embellishment, we have some 3mm Rolo chain that I've attached to the beads using jump rings. So the first part of the video will be weaving the centerpiece, and the second part will be adding the chain. The piece is finished with a magnetic clasp. I've got some thread protectors, some jump rings, the Rolo chain, and a couple of tools. There's needle nose and round nose pliers, some scissors, smoke FireLine, my size 12 needle. So let's begin. I have cut 3 feet of FireLine and I'm going to string on a stopper bead. I'm going to leave myself about 4 inches of tail because I'll be weaving in and tying off both ends of my thread when I'm done. So with that on there, first I'm going to take one of my Super Kheops Puca beads. Now you can see that these are pyramid shaped on the top. They have a flat bottom to them and they're double drilled. So I'm going to set the bead on the table so that I know the orientation of my holes first. And I'm going to go ahead and pull in a couple of my other beads that are going to be part of the design. And this way I know I'm getting off to the right start with the orientation of my needle through the beads. So I'm going through what I'm calling the nose end, that pointed nose end of the bead, and pull it on and come through my brick bead and then the back side of my next Super Kheops bead, still keeping the pyramid side up and the flat side down. Once I have those on, I'm going to start with my seed beads. I'll string on 2 seed beads, then one of these 2-hole SO beads, 2 more seed beads, and now I'm ready for my next set of Kheops beads. Again, I'm going to bring them over and lay them in front of myself so that I can see the orientation of the beads with the holes. Set that up and then string them through. And then I'm going to take on 2 more seed beads, another 2-hole SO bead, 2 more seed beads, and again with my set of Kheops and brick beads. So this will be my pattern going up the one side. And this is the challenging part, to get the orientation of the drill of the holes. Coming down the second side is quite a bit easier. There we go. 2 more seed beads, another SO bead, 2 more seed beads, and I'm going to continue. And once I get the length that I want, I'll come back and show you how to attach the clasp on that end and then work our way back through the other side. So I've strung on all of my beads and I'm ready to finish off one side of the bracelet with a clasp. So for that, I'm going to take one of these thread protectors and string up the one side. There's a little tiny tube there I'm putting my needle through. I just love the clean way that these findings help to finish off a piece. Now I'm going to bring my needle back down through the opposite side. There's a little tube on that side too, and it just cups the string really nicely in that groove. Now before I double back through any of my beads or add any extras on, I want to remember to add my clasp. So I'm going to take half my magnetic clasp, string through that loop, and get that onto the thread protector. You'll find that the magnet kind of pulls onto parts of the metal piece, so it's flopping around against the metal there. That's okay. All right, so now I'm ready to add on more beads. I'm getting 2 seed beads, an SO bead, and 2 more seed beads. Now here I'm going to come through the opposite side of my 2-hole beads. And it really starts to pull together now, and you don't have to worry about drill orientation anymore. You can just send your needle through. Okay, and in between each set of Kheops beads now, I'm adding 2 more seed beads, 1 SO bead, and 2 more seed beads. And back through my 2-hole beads, the Kheops and the brick. Give myself a little more room there. And adding on 2 more seed beads, an SO bead, 2 more seed beads. Now, a design tip that I always like to give with any 2-hole project: make sure that both holes of your beads are drilled, because every once in a while you'll find one that's stopped up. So just look through your beads beforehand, make sure they're all good to go. Adding my seed beads, coming through, and I'll continue this down the second side of the bracelet. So here's how we're looking. Let me flip it over front side. It's really pretty. Okay, I'm going to continue threading on my seed beads and SO beads between my other 2-hole beads, and when I get to the other end, we will finish off the clasp on that side. Alright, so I've finished weaving down the second side of my bracelet, and I'm ready to finish off this end. I need to add just a few more beads to get up to the clasp portion. My 2 seed beads, my SO bead, and my 2 more seed beads. Then I'm going to grab my other thread protector, string that on. Now this makes a 6.5-inch bracelet. If you want to add length, just string on more beads. Going down the other side of the thread protector and stringing on my second side of the clasp. Now I'm coming up to my stopper bead here, but first I'm going to add a few more beads. 2 more seed beads and 2 more. All right, once those are on, what I'm going to do is remove my stopper bead just by sliding it off. And with that tail, I'm going to tie a simple knot between the 2 ends that will fall right between the seed beads and the Kheops bead. There we go. Now I still have the needle on the one side, and I'm going to thread through, weave in my thread, and tie the one side off. Just come between a couple of beads and bring the knot through there once and twice. Weave it in a little bit more. Through some more beads and clip that with my little scissors. You can use thread snips. Now I'm going to thread my needle back onto the tail end. There we go. this one, I'm going to come up the opposite side, away from the previous string. Tie a knot here. And one more. There we go. And through my last couple beads and clip. My scissors got onto the magnetic clasp. Always the challenge. There we go. Okay. So we've woven the center portion of our bracelet. The next step is going to be adding the chain. So for that, I'm going to use my 2 pairs of pliers, my jump rings, and I have pre-cut sections of chain. Again, if you want to make a longer or shorter bracelet, you'll just adjust the amounts of beads that you weave and the amount of chain that you're using. Now I've measured to know that I need 7 links of chain for each section that I'm attaching here to space it right between the beads. So I've also gone ahead and pre-opened my jump rings to get ready for the project. Now to do that, I just took pliers in one hand, pliers in the other, and opened the jump rings side to side. So I've got a little pile ready to go, and my first step is to take a jump ring, take one of my sections of chain, slide on the end link of my chain, and also slide on one of my 2-hole SO beads. It's a delicate process. They are glass, so you want to go slow. And just make sure you slide it gently on, and the jump ring fits just perfectly in that hole. So now, again, that magnetic clasp loves to hang on to things. I'm going to grab over and get my other plier and close that jump ring up nice and tight. So that's got my first link of chain onto my 2-hole bead. So next, I'm going to take my next jump ring and my next length of chain, slide on the end link. I'm going to slide on my next 2-hole bead, and before I close it up, I'll latch the previous chain that's attached to that other 2-hole bead. Gently slide that on. Hope you can see that going through. And bring over the opposite link of my first length of chain and close that up. You can continue that all down the length of this side and the next. So I'll do one more section just to make sure it's clear. Get my jump ring, grab my chain, find my next SO bead all along the line, and I'm going to slide it onto my jump ring. These, again, are 22 gauge jump rings, which is on the thinner side. So if you have thicker jump rings, they're probably not going to fit through these beads. The 22 gauge seems to work really well. All right, got that other length on, and I'm going to close it up. So I'll go ahead and finish attaching and show you the finished piece. Now I've finished adding my chain lengths, and I'm ready to make my final connection, which is my last jump ring. So I'll pick that up, send it through my last SO bead, sometimes it takes a little more than others to work that through. Just be very gentle. And now onto the last link of my chain, close it up. And I chose to use antiqued metals to go with the colors of the beads. The antiqued brass jump rings and clasp, and the antiqued copper thread protector. So there you have it. The Giza bracelet in caramel and also in floral. Hope you enjoyed this video. These projects, tools, and supplies are all available at beadaholique.com, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for all the latest updates. Thanks for watching.